in a move sparking global concerns, viewer, especially in India this time. The U.S. State Department has revoked over 6,000 international student visas. Now, this comes just days before the start of the academic year. Now, according to Western media reports, nearly 4,000 visas were cancelled due to violations of U.S. laws. This included overstays, driving under influence, and even burglaries. That's what the State Department is claiming. Now, shockingly enough, up to 300 visas were revoked for alleged ties to terrorist activity under U.S. immigration law. The crackdown comes as President Trump tightens control on foreign students, targeting immigration and university policies alike. Now, since January, in fact, his administration has constantly and repeatedly enforced social media vetting, paused visa interviews, and even threatened deportations for students involved in pro-Palestinian protest, viewers. Now, India, which sends over 200,000 students to the US annually, could be one of the worst hit countries. In fact, many Indian students might even get stranded there. They might be unsure if they'll be able to even join their classes on time or not. Now, with over $43 billion, that's big money, by the way, in annual contributions, foreign students are vital to the US education system. But growing visa uncertainty is now, in fact, putting futures at risk. And how? My colleague Vishal Vivek joins us for more on this. Vishal, Indian students, how are Indian students in the US reacting to this sudden crackdown? And if you could just put the timeline of these crackdowns in perspective for the advantage of our viewers here.
Well, it all started with those anti-Semitic, quote-unquote anti-Semitic protests in the US, against which the US administration has been acting on for the last 1 year or so. It has rounded up thousands of students, arrested thousands of students, and the same reason has probably been given by the Department of Homeland Security when it has taken such a huge action and revoked about 6,000 visas, out of which 4,000 have been revoked due to various reasons such as assault charges, such as battery, such as burglary. So these are some of the charges that the DHS has listed. But what is interesting to be seen is that 200 to 300 visas have been revoked for support for terrorism. What does that exactly mean? The DHS has not mentioned. It has just said that 200 to 300 visas have been revoked due to support for terrorism. So many experts have assumed that due to prior action of the US administration, it is safe to conclude that these visas were revoked because these students could have participated in those protests that spanned across the US in the last 1 year or so in the wake of the Israel-Hamas war.
So a very important point you in fact raised there. Very quickly, we're running out of time here. What are the likely long-term implications of this Trump admin decision?
Well, it's safe to assume that out of the 6,000 affected here, the majority could be from the Asian continent, Indians, Chinese, people who go to the US to study, because majority of them do belong to the Asian continent. So these people will be affected. The DHS has not segregated as to how many people from each of these countries have been affected. But as I mentioned, it will be Indians who will be at the top of the list of the affected.
Thank you so much for putting the developments in perspective there, Vishal.